So here's my first question to all the speakers here. How do you believe the rapid integration of automations and technologies in architecture that will redefine the traditional role and responsibilities of architects? And what challenges and opportunities do you foresee arising from this transformative shift? Atul sir, if we can have your inputs.
This is such an interesting subject, and much has not been explored so far. What we have done, our mates have made some building codes and all those things, but nothing serious has ever been discussed. Because I have been practicing architecture for last 32 years and into this green building and energy saving for last maybe 12 years. So the first thing is we as architects have to elaborate ourselves, have to expand ourselves. We will not only be designers, but we have to work on data also. Traditionally, we think we are artists, end of it. We think we are creators, end of it. No, we have to indulge in data. Data is one thing. If we are able to collect it, analyze it, and then work on it, so probably we will be able to see a lot of changes in the design itself. I will give you a small example. Like the building codes, if you have windows in west and south, they have some negative marking, and windows on east. But then when this new form of technology comes in, when automation comes in, when AI comes in, and we have the data, and when we say, okay, south, I have a window, I have a beautiful view, so I want to have a window, but then I have automated louvers which will control my heat intake. So as a designer, I have the possibility to design and get the views. And those 3 hours when I have sun, those louvers will automatically shut the light down. So those are the challenges and opportunities. It is both ways.
Thank you, Atulji, for sharing your inputs. Shweta, would you like to share your views?
I think I would just like to say that I'm just being very selfish, and I would say that it would give me a lot of creative freedom. If there is a lot of integration of smart technology is, and how, of course, it redefines our roles as architects, because there was a time when we used to actually go to sites, take a tape, and measure everything. Now we have tools. We don't even need to, everything, all the data and the number crunching is there. Everything is measured, the drawings are done, 3Ds are done, and it saves so much of time. So I personally think that running an architectural practice is a hustle in itself. And I think all the panelists would agree with me that it's an extremely difficult hustle. So if I can automate a lot of processes, and I can save a lot of mind space for having that creative freedom and time to do research in my office. That is the biggest plus point. That there's a lot of say I'm using BIM, I'm using parametrics, I'm using a lot of project management software. So, and of course, I'm using AI in my office as well now. I'm going to talk about a lot of AI in my presentation ahead. But recently, we did a project in which we did a design concept using some artificial intelligence softwares, and the time taken was much lesser, and I could focus a lot on the research that I wanted to do rather than running after the 3D guy to get my renders. So there's a lot of project management and man management that I was saved from. So yes, I think that at the end of it, it gives me the freedom to be more creative.
Agreed, totally agreed with you, Shweta. Moving on to Neeraj sir, so we can have your inputs.
Of course, Atul sir, what you said is data. Data is getting very important. Okay. At the same time, there is a bombardment of data or information. Okay. So analyzing that information or analysis of that data and what you get out of that data, that is going to be more important skill. Okay. Not as an architect, but any profession. Okay. When you see this crazy flux of data which is just happening real time, and in that you see certain patterns, and through that patterns you start making decisions, that's where you will stand out, and that's where that skill of data analysis, when you're going through that, is going to become more important. Of course, it's a hustle, as because even now at this age and time, means after finishing my masters, it's been 20 years exactly, I'm still learning new softwares. Okay, so there is going to be a continuous learning. If you stop learning, you're out of it. Okay, you have to keep on learning. Learning is getting, of course, it's learning is always a challenge because you have to come out of your comfort zone to learn something new. But at the same time, learning has become very easy. Means you go to YouTube, you get all the lessons. You got, means even if you pick up a guitar, you go to YouTube, you have a very simpler lessons and start learning on your own. So it's very exciting times, and uh, skills will change, and your role as a creative person will always stay, because at the end you are the decision maker. You are going to decide what's the final direction. So that's always going to stay.
So, what's your view about this rapid integration of smart automations and technologies into architecture? What kind of challenges and opportunities do you see in here?
At the moment, the automation and this technology is more at an interior level rather than at the architectural level. Okay, is what I feel. Of course, you've got like these amazing softwares and the technology that is there, but something that I can use sitting in India is I feel like okay, like for example, BIM is a software. All right. Now we can talk about it a little later, but to answer your question in short, I still feel that getting automation as a thing in architectural practice, architectural as in I'm assuming construction wise, right? Not as an architect who's doing back end में अपने office में काम. वो तो office wise नहीं पूछे हो, right? You're talking about in construction, right?
Moving on to Ashish ji, so in context to home automation solutions, what are your views? I mean, home automation is completely based on smart automation and technologies. What are your inputs? How is it enhancing the functionality for the occupants?
It's a very subjective thing, in my opinion. It depends a lot upon how a designer perceives a particular space, and it also depends what is the level of the user in terms of how he wants to embrace the technology, or he is happy with the traditional systems which we have been using. And even in the best of the homes, we see a blend of both the things happening. We do homes and people still don't want to use automation in the parents' rooms, especially if they are senior citizens, because they don't really want to hassle them with something new. Uh, we have been devising a lot of new designs in automation where we can make a lot of users take advantage of this amazing technology, right? So that is there, which I have seen a lot of architects are still very, very skeptical as when it comes to home automation, because the systems till now have failed more and succeeded less. So it is a very challenging thing for an architect to recommend a new technology to the user, because eventually if the user is not able to take advantage of it, it becomes a huge challenge for everyone. And another thing which is, it resolves a lot of issues for an architect, if you ask me, because I have seen architects widely want to use natural lights in homes. They want to use the effects of light on the furniture. We all know we can use light very, very effectively to give a complete new definition to a particular space. Okay. So if when an architect designs a space or a designer designs a space, he visualizes how will this space look when there are 5 people in the room or when there are 40 people in the room. He visualizes the space in terms of in the room when it is dark outside or it is bright afternoon. Now, if you use automation, it resolves all these problems for an architect, because then using specific number of lights, he can create n number of impacts in a particular space, right? And now, of course, with the tunable lights and the colored lights, it has become even more easier to define a space and design a space, right? Like Atul sir said that if the window is facing the south, you can use motorized louvers, and then you can resolve a lot of issues which might occur because of a window towards the south. Similarly, we can use automation in multiple ways to really create a whole new experience for the end user. So I think it's a huge advantage for an architect, but still we live in an age where we are transforming and we have to educate our users to basically make them understand that this is not a new hazard for them. Because most of the users, they tell me I have 5,000 problems in my office. I don't want another 5,000 when I come back home. Okay. So I think we are in that transformation phase, and slowly all of us will evolve.
Right. So we totally agree with what you have said. Moving on to my next question, Shweta. So when it comes to automation, right? So what kind of trends have you observed in the integration of automation with architectural practices? And how
Well,
is it shaping the industry?
well, as I would rightly agree with what Karan said, that whenever we talk about automation, smart technology, everything, we still are very focused on interiors as to automation in lighting, air conditioning, like, sensors and say blinds, curtains, air conditioning also. So it's all about comfort. It's about how you can ease my life, and I want my home to be automated. But slowly and steadily, I think what I observe and what I have researched a bit as well is that it is growing up to the city level. As I have certain friends who work in the smart cities or probably working in with the Delhi Jal Board, and I find that artificial intelligence and technology is entering into these sectors. And I will be speaking about water management and waste management through AI. What is happening in, say, there is a recent mission by the government of India that is called the Jal Jeevan Mission, and how AI is being used to, kind of oversee the water consumption that is, being water is being supplied to all the rural areas, and there's a mission to reach they have certain targets. So how technology is being used there. So there is real-time sensing of data, there is number crunching, there is early detection and evaluation of anomalies in the system, be it water, be it air conditioning. So that is a very slow and a big leap that we are going to take, and we are heading towards it. And probably, maybe in some time, currently, maybe I go into a room and I have to use my smartphone to have a comfortable setting for me for the light or the geyser. But maybe in some time, you never know that AI reaches so far that say I am doing a specific task and I don't need to use my phone, and the AI figures it out all, and it automatically knows what kind of luminous flux I need on the table, what kind of temperature I'm comfortable with. So that is what I'm seeing. It's going to take a lot of years, but of course, that is what my take is on that.
Yes, indeed. That's very insightful, Shweta. Thank you. Moving on to my next question. Atulji, can you tell us how is automation now being achieved in architecture? And what is the future of automation in this industry?
Most of it is being presently used for interiors, but then it is a long way ahead in architecture. We have, as I said, integration, data integration is what is important. We need to understand how can we use the available data in a building design, in a built environment. Not only the interiors, the facades, the interactive facades will be the future. I see, because I do purely architecture. I do very less interiors, so I am in a position to say we used to face a lot of challenges before these technologies came in, especially towards these directions. Again, I am saying because I am in Delhi, so not part of India. So we always faced challenges in the west and the south. There are the buildings facing west and the south. We had to keep walls solid, and although we could not have even the views, if they were available, we could not use them. And suppose the building was only one sided open, then there were challenges. So those challenges are being addressed because of the use of these technologies. So automation is the future, and we need to update ourselves. We need to upgrade ourselves. That is the only solution.
Thank you, Atulji, for sharing your inputs. Coming to you, Karan, how has the advent of automation influenced the use of BEAM in architectural planning, and what innovations do you foresee in this industry?
So, first of all, I like the whole concept, and then that is it architectural construction focused, or how it is in residential? Is automation and technology helping? Okay, because like if you ask me about automation and technology for construction, it's all different, and like how let's like I just specified BIM earlier, right? You guys can hear me properly, correct? Now, I don't think it's automation, but it's technology, which I feel like is going insane. All right, we do most of interior works, okay, and our projects are more residential, 5 to 15 to 20,000 square feet. So BIM is okay. I don't know what you guys heard, but I'm saying that BIM is taking over by the storm because for a large scale project, okay, I can do my structural work, I can do my interior work, I can do my MEP, I can get my quantities, I can get my 3D renders, I can get my walkthrough, I can do anything and everything by just working on one model. Okay. So, which is extremely interesting to know where, so many agencies are involved. You have to incorporate so many drawings. All right. So, I feel like the technology here is just going like way beyond. All right. Where, say, for example, if I have to, after designing a building,
If you could elaborate on how smart automations and technologies have played a role in promoting sustainability and facilitating the realization of net zero construction. So, in your perspective, so if you could just put that forth.
I think AI and smart technology initially and as a first step is taking care of that to start with, okay, which is fabulous. Means I know exactly how much energy I got. Solar panels, I got a small meter kind of a thing which just shows me how much energy I'm producing, how much I'm consuming, okay, and as soon as I make certain changes, it shows me how much consumption is changed, okay. It's very straightforward and very easy. So I think automation to just go towards sustainability is just a step, first step, and I would say we are already there, So it's happening. It's even the water conservation, as sir said, you have blinds towards southwest, so there is a too much glare. The blinds come down so that your AC consumption reduces. Okay, all this is means there is a CMC building in Mumbai which was done in 2000 something, which had all possible sensors in the building. Okay, at that time in 2000, we were talking about 20 years back. So it's all there, but still it's not completely getting used properly. Maybe just like a lead, there will be a licensing where you have to say which just the way Chennai said, you have to recharge your water bores. Okay, it's a rule. Maybe there should be a rule that your building must be net zero. And then whatever technology you need to use, the smart technology, everything you need to use, you will get used more and more. And that's the only way to go ahead in this planet, I guess. Just put rules. It's sad, but that's how it's working. Sorry.
That's fine. Thank you. Thank you for your insights. Shweta, would you like to add into what Neeraj has just said?
Being a master in sustainability myself, why do we do all this smart automation? Why do we do it? Obviously, we do it to save energy. That is the primary. Of course, there is human comfort. There are a lot of other things, but primarily the focus is to save energy. And it's not just energy, it's water, it's resource, it's everything. Because with the help of technology, we can monitor a lot of systems before they run into any kind of discrepancies from beforehand. So, like I would be elucidating in my presentation as well, that how you can do a lot of detection much beforehand, and so that once what we do is once a problem arises in any of our services or any of our systems, because sustainability is again number crunching. You need to arrive at this many kilowatts per hour. This is your energy efficiency index. It's again data and number crunching. So how do you reach a green building or a net zero building in your sector, in your bylaws, in your country? So all this data has to be analyzed with the help of, meters, with the help of sensors, with the help of artificial intelligence, and only by this real-time monitoring and analysis can we be able to have, matrices in place due to which we can improvise our systems and being able to reach a particular, say, a green building rating or any kind of energy benchmarks that I want to achieve.
Thank you, Shweta, for enlightening us with your views. Now that we are talking about sustainability, Ashish ji, in context to sustainable living, how do you incorporate energy efficient home automation solutions in your designs? And what impact have these solutions had on reducing the ecological footprint of the residents that you have worked on?
We have developed our own system, which is called a home management system. It is comprising of flavor of a lot of home automation system, which is already in place. And we have carved out a small section of building management system, which we use for homes. And now we are blending the two solutions to create a sustainable home, or you can say an energy efficient home, where it is not just energy efficient cost saving, but it is also highly secure. And at the same time, you are able to manage your energies much better. And what comes out of this entire thing is huge amount of convenience for the users. Okay. See, you have to understand, home automation does not mean I press a button and a light will turn on. That we are doing it for ages. Automation, the word itself means things should be happening automatically in a home, right? Unfortunately, 9.9 out of 10 people who are promoting home automation, they either talk about a good looking keypad on the wall, which replaces the conventional switches, or at best, they will talk about an application on the phone where you press some buttons and some things will happen, and they were talking about moods and settings and this and that. I mean, it is all gimmick. Okay. Today, such things are done by schoolboys and girls. Uh, um, I saw one of the exhibitions where I was invited a chief guest. Somebody had made a home automation system at a school exhibition. I think it's a very wrongly perceived technology. Energy efficiency is something which we can very easily achieve using home automation. Like just a minute before, Neeraj said that if the temperature outside is crossing certain limits, then your curtain should come down. Okay. Uh, and in the same lines, you can do stuff like if there is enough amount of natural light in a particular room, you can automatically keep the lights off. Okay. However, if the lux level increases beyond a level, then again your louvers have to come down, because of light is bad for health also. We have been working on actively on circadian rhythm, where we have been trying to create wellness within the home. But coming to the point where people are saying you cannot use much of automation in the architecture, I would again like to enlighten everyone here that nowadays lighting technologies are such that you are free to build any room in any part of the house, or you are free to build any room in any part of any commercial building also. Because a lot of times we feel the bedroom should have X natural light coming, or a particular room would have, or a lobby should be having this kind of lights coming in. You can very easily emulate natural lights in a home or in a office building. So we don't talk about home or office anymore. We only say smart buildings, because the basic principle is gonna remain the same. You have to give them economic efficiency, convenience, and at the same time you have to give them a lot of security. Home automation kind of addresses everything if it is designed and built in a particular way, in the right way. Okay. So it has got a huge role to play in energy efficiency. See, for example, now most of the energy meters which are available, they are working on cloud, which means you can collect a lot of data. Unless you measure, you cannot save, right? If you want to save money, what is the first step? You write down your expenses, right? So if you cannot measure, then you cannot save. So sometime back, Neeraj also pointed this out, that we have a lot of data available, but analyzing it correctly is also very, very important. And that's precisely the point. In a home kind of a scenario, or in a commercial building kind of a scenario, that measurement is completely missing. So we all should emphasize first on measurement, how much energy is being consumed, and then your data will come out automatically. We did a we did energy efficiency design for a supermarket. There were 100 supermarkets, and then how did we collect data? It was very simple. We pulled out the billing data of last 1 year, and we figured out what is the peak time when highest number of people come to the store. And then the lighting and the HVAC is automatically scheduled in a way where we know that at this is the peak hour. So at this time, the store lighting and the HVAC has to work in a particular way. Other times, the lean time, it has to work in a different way. Okay. So data is important. Data can only come if you have right kind of tools installed into the building all the time. That is number one. And then it has to be analyzed. Now there are a lot of cloud platforms where this data analysis is happening automatically, and it is throwing back analysis to you on a simple email. You don't really have, nobody has to crunch data anymore, and then see your patterns, your weekly, your monthly, your annual energy consumption graphs comes like that. I mean, we did something like this for a building in Bangalore, and you won't believe the energy bills for that building have come down by 30%. And that's huge for a commercial building. Okay. Similarly, I have seen a lot of residential clients coming back and saying, my monthly electricity bill is 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs. How can we bring it down? So there are designs and there are products which are available, which are capable of doing that. Only thing is you have to connect them correctly, and then you will be able to achieve a lot of energy efficiency.
Thank you, Ashish. That was indeed very informative.